The last thing you want to hear when you need your auto insurance most is a robot with countless irrelevant menu options. Which is why with USAA Auto Insurance, you'll get great service that is easy and reliable, all at the touch of a button. Get a quote today. Restrictions apply. USAA.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Vitamin Water was born in New York because New Yorkers wanted more flavor to pair with all the amazing food in the city. You can have the best meal in the world here, if you can get a reservation. Vitamin Water is so New York, its 3 favorite cheeses are chopped cheese, bacon, egg, and cheese, and a slice of cheese pizza. We know where to get the best sushi in the city, and best nachos, and best bagels, and best... You get it. And you can find food trucks better than 5-star restaurants. Drink Vitamin Water. It's from New York.
Hilton brings you new ways to stay, with experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
Welcome to Who Will Be King, the ultimate NFC North Roundup show on the Fans First Sports Network. I'm your host, Dave, from Vikings First and SKOL, bringing the latest buzz as we hear it from the 2025 NFL Draft. Held up there in Green Bay, the man in the middle. Starting tomorrow, April 24th, the NFC North is a battleground, as you've heard me say numerous times. And today we're diving into the draft strategies, trade rumors, and the prospects that who would help crown the next king in our division. Joining me are the voices of rivalry teams, pay from the frustrated, disgruntled, pissed off Chicago Sports Fans Network, repping the Bears, and Jude and Foster from Bleachers to Speakers, holding it down in Motown for the Lions. Guys, we're going to start right after the roll-in of this episode of Who Will Be King? Let the battles begin. Welcome, gentlemen. And I see we're missing Foster, but he should be joining us shortly. Pay, how are things in the Windy City, and have you made it up to the Windy City for the draft?
Well, first things first, I think I'm debating a name change there, Dave. Thanks a lot. I might have to credit you with the new name of the channel, Pissed Off Chicago Sports Fan.
I elaborated beyond frustrated just a little bit.
I like it. This grotto doesn't really sell it the way I want to be sold, but Pissed Off is the perfect icing on the cake.
Chef's kiss.
Uh-huh. Chef's kiss, Dave. As always, it's great to be here with you guys, man. Another great Wednesday. I'm not actually headed to Chicago for the draft. Boots on the ground. We will be having a Fans First Sports Network type of major draft party in Myrtle Beach. So I am on my way there.
I got to upgrade, man. This is ridiculous, man.
I know. I wasn't even invited.
All this podcasting in the basement, man. This is just terrible.
At Myrtle Beach, such great golf down there too. June, how are things over in Detroit?
Things are great, man. We are experiencing some wonderful weather today. Better weather tomorrow. Draft is on the way. It's going to be a lot of content dropping tomorrow as well as today. I'm excited. It's that time of the year. We've been waiting patiently for draft day to approach. It is almost there. We got to wake up and it's here tomorrow. So I'm excited. This is the time of the year where, everybody hopefully gets a little better, with the first couple of rounds. So I'm excited.
Mm-hmm. Hey, gotta love the energy that's going on right now within the division. All three of our teams are psyched up about it. The fourth one, who knows? There is no Packer rep, as viewers can see. And that's because we've offered, we want them to apply, but they don't seem to have the huevos to step up and turn in their chunk of cheese to talk with the rest of the North.
You got to be.
You got to be.
I agree with you.
You got to be built for the show. You got to have the chest to be on this show, man. I mean, it ain't for everybody,
Yeah.
Huevos are expensive now too, so.
Yeah. They are, but it is. Now, before we dive in, I want to give a quick shout out to our listeners who are watching on Vikings First and SKOL YouTube page, but also those that will listen later via their favorite podcast aggregator, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. It's all brought to you by Fans First Sports Network, and we generally appreciate them greatly. Some pay more than others.
Uh-oh.
Since he gets to go down to Myrtle Beach. But, hey, there he is.
Out, Foster.
There's Foster. How you doing, buddy? And you're on mute on your end.
It is beautiful. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. It is 75 degrees in Michigan. Gotta love it.
Why aren't you at the ball game?
Well, actually, the game, we had a 1 o'clock game, so that's over with. But I'll probably be down there this weekend at some point.
He will definitely be down there this weekend.
Well, you heard it here first.
And for those that don't know, that's because Foster is the lead host on Bleachers to Speakers, Corner to Copa, the Detroit Tigers show.
That's right.
Skybox, luxury bucks.
Hey, they're nice from what I gather.
Yeah.
And if you get enough people, they make it affordable, which is cool.
Right. I mean, it's just him when he goes.
Okay. Now, we'll open this up with pay. Pay. The Bears have been the talk of the draft with all this Ashton Jeanty buzz that they're going to be moving up. It's across NFL media. The Bears are looking to draft Ashton Jeanty, a running back. Move up to fifth spot to get him. Reports say Brian Poles, your GM, is praying Jeanty falls to 10. But there's also rumors saying, no, they're going to trade the farm and move up to get him with Jacksonville. What's the vibe from fans, not you, but from fans, about getting probably the best running back in this draft?
Well, Bears fans are, majority of them will want Ashton Jeanty. A lot of Bears fans are lack of a better word, stupid. So
Whoa.
they would love to see Ashton Jeanty fall into the Bears' lap, on Thursday night, whether that be at pick 10 or the Bears slightly trade up. I don't think there's many Bear fans, however, would love to trade quote unquote farm to move up to, let's say, pick 5 or wherever, pick 4, to get Ashton Jeanty. I think that's where the division comes at. Me, but you didn't ask me. I think you already know where I'm at with that. But most Bear fans that I've had the pleasure of speaking to or reading their thoughts and comments on various social media platforms, I think they like that direction for the Bears.
Well, what would you think of trading up for him? That seems like an awful big price tag to get a running back.
There you go. There you go, Dave. Awful big price tag for a running back. Why would I want to pay that much for a running back? Running backs don't even get paid that much their second contract. Why would I want to pay him that much on the outside? He hasn't done anything. That's ridiculous. For a 5-win team to trade up that far for a running back, there's so many other holes on this squad that they need to fill first. They need more help on the pass rush. They need more help on offensive line. They could probably use more help in the secondary. Now, I'm not advocating that they go ahead and spend that top 10 pick on a player in the secondary, right? But doing it for a running back would probably most likely tell me exactly what I need to know about this regime, this new iteration of the Bears, headed up by Ben Johnson.
Speaking of Ben Johnson, June, what would you think of Jeanty going to Chicago?
Well, first of all, to hell with Ben Johnson. Secondly, the NFL draft is really, that's one of the deepest positions, the running back position. And I don't think that would be good. I think the Bears could wait and probably get Henderson or Judkins with their next pick. So, but they really have to believe in Jeanty to do that. So I would wait, but at the same time, I mean, Ben Johnson's he wants his weapons, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Gotcha. Foster, do you think that if Ryan Poles did trade up, they'd be missing out on other needs like O-line, which they're obviously in need of?
Yeah, I would say part of me is like, by all means, go away from the one thing that you have desired to, strengthen, in the draft. Although, they've made some changes they've made some moves as far as free agency is concerned. So, but part of it is kind of, I am cautious of the fact that that Ben Johnson would get another weapon. Now, whether or not he'll have anywhere to go because he may not have any blocking is another story, but I certainly don't want to strengthen, their ability to add more tools for Caleb and company to work with.
I gotcha. You're not the only one that believes that. Sarah, Pay's favorite Vikings fan, says, trade the farm, Bears. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, bodes well for us as the ops. But yeah, I mean, by all means, do what you got to do to get Jeanty. Like, I say Swift isn't enough. Go get Jeanty.
Uh-huh. Hey, I want to thank everybody that's already in the chat. We got George, we got Sarah, we got Bob. Brian is here. Welcome to the show, one and all. Now, well, with that great news for Pay, he's going to pick up Jeanty at 5 on Thursday night and overpay and not get the offensive lineman he wants. So we'll go on from there. Now, June, Foster, Lions are coming off obviously a strong 2024 season where they went one and done with the rest of the division in the playoffs, minus the Bears. And Brad Holmes has a knack for finding gems.
Mm-hmm.
With the pick at 28, the focus seems to be an edge rusher obviously to complement Aiden Hutchinson.
So
Who's
they say.
on your radar? And are there any trade rumors in Detroit that are swirling?
Are there trade rumors? Look, it's to the point where I want to change our name to the Frustrated Off-Season Detroit Fans Show. I mean, this is where I stand at. Like, they're talking about trading J-Mo. Like, it's everywhere. It's all over the media here. He even went as far as unfollowing Detroit on Twitter. I don't get it. I don't get it. This draft is full of edge rushers, and they're talking about moving up to get one or get someone that they desire. I'm not quite sure what is going on. But at the same time, I'm the person that has all the wrong suggestions as far as personnel. I don't like anybody they pick up. I don't like any draft person. So I want to shut up, but I can't.
Foster, I'm hearing Amik Robertson is also a possibility of that.
Yeah,
I think we got enough 5'9" corners. I can see that. But go ahead, Foster.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that one I think is a lot more likely to come to fruition than the J-Mo situation. I think that I feel like the whole situation is kind of a publicity stunt of sorts. Obviously he did unfollow the team and, unfollow the social media team. And he's been kind of putting subliminal messages out on a story, which you don't always, it's subliminal in the sense that obviously there's not a name on on what's going on. But, I also saw a kind of retort on Detroit Lions, social media where, everybody's, back in the building. And I don't know if the picture is new or old, but the caption was everything's Gucci, everything's good. And then of course, J-Mo's running with a Gucci hat on. So it's like, it's good for clicks. It's good for engagement. I would not be surprised if J-Mo and the social media team is in on this together, because anything is possible in this day and age. So,
hey, Sarah, don't you start that. He's not following the Vikings.
I was going to ask if you saw that comment.
Sarah's wild, man.
Yeah.
We take it. That'd be no big. Yeah, I mean, sure. But trading J-Mo, that's bold. Pay, as a Bears fan, would you be relieved if Detroit moved on from the speedster like him?
Relieved? I don't think that would be the word that will come to mind for me. I don't think Jameson, he's a talented player, very dangerous. And I think he ripped us one in one of those games this past season. However, wide receiver, I don't think he's the issue. He doesn't pose the greatest issue for the Bears. But, however, it would delight me a little bit, for the Detroit Lions to come down just a bit more. I mean, we did our work. We sniped a lot of their coaching staff.
Their health staff. Half the back office. Yeah.
The expendable ones.
The expendable ones. Right. A good 75% of the coaches there. So we did our job. Now, if Detroit want to self-destruct a little bit more, hey, I won't stand in their way.
Self-destruct? Sheesh.
That's a bit.
I use the word regress.
Oh, I like that.
Regress? Sheesh.
Yeah, you're due for some regression.
I mean, we're 15-2. I can say a little bit of regression.
Yeah, and one and done. But,
just like you guys.
Except for Chicago.
Yeah, well, you were one and done as well.
I said like the rest of us.
Yeah.
So,
you know what? I'm not one to play in the comments, but Sarah, MVP of the she did say Ben Johnson would trade for J-Mo. The Bears do need a deep threat. I mean, we could draft one like Isaiah Bond, but there's a likelihood he end up in prison. So I mean, we need touchdowns. I think trading for Jameson might be a better move.
It very well could be. And maybe that's what Poles is talking about being so, this is going to be a wild draft. I think I saw the quote.
Hey, man, let's not act like J-Mo ain't been arrested since he's been here, bro.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Minor.
Oh,
He
man,
wasn't arrested. He wasn't arrested.
Idle citizen instead of bond. I mean, come on. You're still rolling the dice.
Hey, we got Jordan Addison, so we can't talk. But it is funny. Now,
put that quote back up there, Dave.
which one? Considering the belief that in picks 15 through 70 aren't much different, should we trade 24 for 50 and 52 if the Seahawks are wanting another pick in the first round? It's from Skywalking McCarthy. And the answer to that is no.
No, especially if you're considering 15 to 70 is not a great difference in the talent. No.
That's way too far back, in my opinion. Now, that doesn't mean Kwesi's going to do that. Hopefully he learned his lesson of his first draft where he traded with the Lions and then immediately turned around and traded with the Packers. I think he's heard it from the fans enough not to trade within the division and never trade too far back. Just to get 2 picks? No, that's way too expensive. Skywalker McCarthy, not a chance. I don't see it. But hey, it is what it is. Holmes does like surprises.
Yeah.
Tight end.
Stop it, Dave. Don't do that. No.
Foster, any chance the Lions pivot to offensive line?
Hey, I mean, it's kind of the foundation that we're built on. So I would not be surprised. But I think it's a possibility for sure. Especially if the edge rusher that Brad Holmes desire is not there. He's not going to just pick one for the sake of picking one. He wants his guy, or the closest to his guys as can be.
I got you. I can't tell you how many drafts I've seen, mock drafts, where the Vikings grab somebody and let Gray Zabel slip to you guys and you grab him.
Yeah, I've seen that. And I've also seen a lot of mock drafts where the Bears are picking up Tyler Warren, the tight end from Penn State. I've seen that on a lot of mock.
Yes. Now, do the Bears need a good tight end? Yeah, I could see that.
I thought they had a good tight end last year.
What's 2, basically.
Llévate más de lo que esperas todos los días con el nuevo McValue en McDonald's. Ahora puedes comprar uno y sumarle otro por $1. Así que cuando tu equipo favorito enfrente a sus rivales, enfrenta tus antojos con $5 Meal Deals. Y si estás corriendo para alcanzar el desayuno, corre al app para llevarte ofertas antes del cutoff. Tú decides, y con McValue, tu decisión siempre rinde más. Precios y participación pueden variar. BOGO $1 válido para un producto de igual o menor valor. Debe estar registrado en Rewards para ofertas en el app.
And want to develop. I mean, tight end's one of the longest developmental times, position-wise. That's why we're talking about taking one late. It is what it is.
I guarantee you we take one at some point.
I mean, we didn't last year, right?
That's why we're due.
And I do believe how many you got in the room right now?
I think Brock Wright's still there. Shane,
we picked up one in free agency.
Cut 3 or 4.
Not that matters, though, Dave. I mean, none of that matters in the scheme of things. We've done that before and still drafted a tight end second round. So it doesn't matter.
Detroit Lions roll into camp with 12 tight ends. What's the plan?
Cut 8 of them, and they drafted 3 of them. Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be very interesting.
Paul Bobot says, bull move if the Vikes let the Lions have Zabel. I agree, Paul. There may be some rioting depending on who the Vikes select. That would be something. But the question is, well, whether Zabel makes it down to 24 in the first place.
I don't think he'll make it that far. I don't think it'll get to the point to where he's drafted in the 20s. I think he's going
with Seattle.
Yeah, I think he's going earlier than I think within the first 15 picks, he may be gone. So he's a good offensive lineman, and that he made me tune down my desires for pass rush. If you can get him first and then go pass rush, he's that good. We could use another guard.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No, I agree, and the Seattle is the best shot I see, but I also see the Steelers possibly, and they're 2 ahead of us. They're drafting 22, I think it is, somewhere in there.
Hey, Foster, did you read what Sarah says, bro?
The Bears should draft Shadur at 10 because they still need a quarterback.
Oh, she's on a roll today.
Oh,
yeah,
yes,
she's on.
She is. She's
let her rock.
gold.
Yeah, let her.
Skywalking McCarthy says, I think the Bears will trade back with the Colts, and of course, pay dropped off to get Warren at 10. That's not trade back. They're sitting at 10. Bears get an edge. Have the Colts move up and then drop back with and get an edge like Mikael Williams. Mikael Williams is one of your highly watched guys, correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Bob. The Bears have their own LGBTQ QB1 already. Yes, that's true.
Wow.
That is crazy.
Yeah,
these Vikings fans are chef kiss.
I mean, he did say this.
The Bears.
Now, that doesn't mean anything, just a high-pitched voice. But, hey. Now, Australian Sculpture, welcome to the show, buddy. Good to see you. Vikings, he thinks the Vikings will trade out of the first round, and they'll trade down twice to pick up more picks because we only have 4. Now, that's quite possible that we will. Or we might do the same thing we did last year and dive into 2026 picks and keep playing this game out until we no longer need to. But we'll see.
Now, Dave, you got to remember, guys, and I'm talking to the Viking fans. You went 14-3. There's not a lot to fix.
No.
So, you're not going into the draft actually in so much need that you have to trade for picks or move around. You're at a position where you can basically draft the best available.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's not rocket science. You guys, like I said, you went 14-3. You kept most of your players intact. You did give up Sam Darnold, but that was expected. You have a quarterback of the future there already with JJ. So it's just, we can sit up here and say, hey, let's move back, let's do this, but there's not a lot. You don't have a lot of problems. You're not the Bears.
No,
about cornerback?
Not even close to the Bears or even the Packers for that matter.
But you know what? The Packers rarely do anything in the offseason and drafts, right? But they're still pretty good a lot of times. So
yeah.
I hate to say it, but it's just
mediocre.
You don't have to reinvent the wheel here.
But there are a few spots that we'd like to improve. Left guard being one of them. And as of right now, with the 24th pick, our GM, Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, has to make the move count because he doesn't want to waste it because everybody still got the 22 draft where he flubbed up his first draft in their mind. We have The Athletic and Sports Illustrated both saying they like Gray Zabel to us. And if not Gray Zabel, Donovan Jackson at left guard. Yep, Jim, left guard. As most likely. even though the national ones are saying we're going to get a safety. Because, oh my God, they got Theo Jackson starting. Nobody's seen Theo Jackson play, except for Vikings fans. And Harrison Hitman Smith may retire. And Josh Metellus, he doesn't play safety. He plays rover. Blah, blah, blah. You need a safety. Well, we'll see if that's the case. It's interesting that the national guys all have us getting a safety, whereas all the beat writers and local, smart fans, it's either interior O-line as in left guard or interior D-line as in a defensive tackle. Hopefully one that can push is the way we're headed, but we'll see. Yeah, we're hearing rumors that a particular team, i.e. the Giants, may trade up if Jackson Dart falls beyond the Steelers.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Which is going to be interesting. We figure, obviously, Titans are going to pick Cam Ward.
Yeah.
Shedeur Sanders is anywhere from number 2, 3, 4, 5 to out of the first round. And then you have Jackson Dart is generally considered the next one in line, and there may be a fourth one. But I was going to ask you, do you think, but you answered this, do you think the Vikings should trade with the Giants or the Browns in the second round just to get extra few picks?
I don't know if the Giants are really in play. You got to think they just got Jameson Winston and Russ, and I don't think they'll make a lot of moves for a quarterback. I think if one falls in their lap, they might take one later. But at the same time, they got QB1 and QB2 right now. They do.
Yeah. They could be waiting till next year to get the Arch Manning sweeps.
So it can be one of those things where I don't think they make a lot of moves. I think as far as just to get a quarterback. Now, to do something else, maybe, but not for a quarterback. They went in the offseason, and they undoubtedly they upgraded their quarterback from what they had last year.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they sure do. Now, Brian Flores would like to beef up the defense even more, I'm sure. Albert Breer mentioned Derek Harmon. There's our defensive tackle. Or Malachi Starks as a safety, one of the two safeties that we keep hearing. Emin Wari is another one. But I'm leaning, obviously, towards Gray Zabel if he's there. But we'll see.
If I'm the Vikings, I stand pat, and I either, at that pick, I either take the best safety, the best edge rusher, or the best interior lineman that's available. That's
What's your CB1?
Oh, Murphy.
Brian
Murphy Jr. Oh. Now, we could use a safe corner for depth, but we have a starting crew, and there's also rumors of Asante Samuel's already got a deal done with the Vikings. He's just waiting until after the draft to come. So I'm not worried about a cornerback room as much. Safety, I understand the logic. We have 4 of them, I think, 4 or 5 of them on the roster already. 5. There's Jay Ward also. And they'll fill out the room going into camp, but I'm not worried about needing an immediate guy that's going to compete for a starting job because we haven't. Theo Jackson's absolutely rocked it. If you listen to Harrison Hitman Smith's presser here a couple of days ago, he says Theo Jackson is going to rock it, and he nailed it with other safeties that has worked with him over his career, and I have no doubt that Hitman is 100% correct, and it's going to be a good back trio.
Well, the reason why I say safety, Dave, is not a knock to what you have. It's like, let's say, for instance, Starks is there. You know, if he happens to fall and you lost a free safety to free agency, you might take the best, and he's a very valuable pick at 24. That's why I say that. It's not because of what you have. It's just like at that point you get the best player available. And
the question is, would you take him over Jackson or Zabel or Harmon?
Only if they're gone. Only if they're gone. If they're gone, because that would be the only reason Starks would be there, is because you have somebody, Zabel and stuff already, and the other person already gone. So it's funny how the first round falls. The people that we don't think that'll be there actually are there because somebody in the first round throws a curveball every year. And it might be a couple people that pick people that you don't say, wait a minute, hold on. That shouldn't have happened. And then you get those people that fall in the 20th, in the 20s. So, it's that's why it's so interesting to watch the draft, because you never know.
Skywalking McCarthy says if Stark gets past Miami at 13, he should be there for us.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Yeah.
And he's also mentioned the defensive tackle, Walter Nolan, as well.
Walter Nolan was a former 5-star D tackle. He started off at, I think it was, I want to say Texas A&M. He was all world. He's going to be a good value pick at D tackle. He's a heck of an athlete. He's going to be one of the ones.
We'll see. Now, the Packers are sitting at pick 23.
Oh, who cares?
Ben Solak called them the toughest team to predict.
They are.
They've got medium needs, is what he called it. Corner, edge, receiver, O-line. Who thinks that they would give a receiver to Jordan Love, the professional quarterback, is beyond me. Trading up. There's a rumor that they're going to trade up for Arizona's Tetrario. I know I misspelled that. McMillan.
He's good.
Or sticking with defender like Tyleek Williams.
Well, I'm hoping they trade up and get a long snapper. That's what I hope the Green Bay Packers does.
Trade up.
Get a long snapper. Trade the farm.
Get a long snapper, then grab a punter and a kicker to go along with it.
Right. That's what I hope they do. But the wide receiver out of Arizona is phenomenal talent.
Pay, you got some weird noises coming from.
Oh, that's just bears growling.
I just muted you, Pay. All right. Skywalking McCarthy says, as an A&M alum, you don't want Nolan or Stewart. Scorton would be good pickup. Though he's edge, that would be killing a mosquito with a shotgun.
Scorton will be available later on for sure.
Mm-hmm. Right? And what Skywalking McCarthy's referring to is there's rumors that Nolan had some growing up to do while he was at A&M. But
yeah.
We'll see. Jim says Ted McMillan is really like another Mike Evans.
That's a really good thing.
Son of a Beavers, Quasi's really going to swerve all of us and draft a punter in first round. Yeah.
I hope
follow
so.
the Green Bay Packer lead. Mm-hmm.
And we're going to get the player we want and draft a tight end in the first round.
Sarah says Packers will trade back and take an old lineman. I see the Packers sometimes with Gray Zabel.
And he's already
yellow.
at North Dakota, green and yellow.
Right.
That's horrible. Stars shouldn't align like that.
Now, let's see. Now, do you think with Green Bay hosting the draft, it gives them some sort of edge?
There are people out there all across the country pushing boundaries to grow the game of golf. Like champion speed golfer Lauren Cupp, who plays faster than anyone else. And Will Lowry, whose work in the golf community inspires more kids to get into the game. As a champion partner of the Masters, Bank of America supports everyone determined to find out what's possible. In golf and in life. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America. Bank of America N.A. member FDIC, copyright 2025, Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Uh-oh, the last cookie.
You can get a new box of cookies in as fast as an hour with Walmart Express Delivery.
Are you my guilty self-conscience?
No, I'm the voice offering you promo code EXPRESS for free delivery on your first order.
Hey, who ate my cookies?
You mean, these cookies?
Order now. Welcome to your Walmart. Promotion valid for first express delivery order. $50 minimum subject to availability. Restrictions apply.
No. No,
You
not
guys
at
had
all.
a pretty good draft last year.
Yeah.
We tend to do that, though.
I don't
Sliding
think it had
hundreds
anything
under
to
the
do
table
with
to Roger Goodell or something.
I think if anything, it sways it shouldn't work like this, but it kind of sways people to make the sexy pick because nobody wants a terrible pick they don't want in their, to happen in their hosting stadium. But
right, they want to go for a weapon versus the offensive lineman type.
Good crowd control, good, showmanship for the home crowd. I would think.
Mm-hmm. I got you. There's some sense to that. I believe it, but we'll see.
Not always the smart pick. I mean, obviously they were to get Gray Zabel. That wouldn't necessarily be the, unless the fans have already, done the due diligence and love him already, that probably wouldn't be as attractive as going and getting that guy out of Arizona, McMillan. I think that would be more of the, we know how receiver, the receiver pick is always like sexy. Hate to say it, but that's
We got Broski Bear and Sarah going at it in the chat, which is pretty cool. And Pay can't see it. At least he doesn't have his camera on, so
he might be able.
Hey, we got some color.
Yeah, something happened there.
That's thunder and lightning.
Okay. Jim Parker says Green Bay hosting the draft means that a lot of guys will see how exciting Green Bay is.
Yay. Whippy.
Exactly.
Great.
Which means they won't. Now, it is time that we take a quick break. We're pausing for a quick word from our sponsors here on Fans First Sports Network. Whether you're craving NFL draft analysis, fantasy football tips, or heated NFC North debates like us, or any sport for that matter, FFSN has you covered with podcasts, articles, and more. Check us out at fansfirstsportsnetwork.com for the latest. All right, we'll be right back. And we're back. Now, we have some bold predictions. We're in the home stretch, obviously. Tomorrow is day one of the draft. It is time for everybody to give us your wildest takes. Hey, if you're listening, what is your wildest takes for the Bears? And you have muted yourself, Pay, so obviously.
No, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so my wildest take for the Chicago Bears is that all of this you've been hearing the last 72 hours, it's all smoke. It's lying season, Dave. And the Bears are going to draft Jalen Walker. They're going to trade up to number 7, get the Bulldog, Jalen Walker, because we want to be like the Philadelphia Eagles. We want to be Super Bowl champs. That's my wildest take.
Okay. Obviously, good dreams for you guys if that happens. Now, June, what's the wildest take for the Lions?
I think the wildest take is that the Lions have had a history in the past few years to do something in the first round, trade up or trade down. I think the wildest take is that they stand pat and actually draft someone that I think they should draft.
Mm-hmm.
That's a wild take because I never agree with anyone they draft.
Oh, just anything that he actually wants.
Yeah. I wasn't upset about Terrion Arnold. I didn't think, but they traded up.
That was great.
That was good. We needed a corner, but I think the wildest take with them to be stand pat and to draft a pass rusher. That would be my wildest take. But I think
Paul and Brusky Bear are saying for the Bears to trade DJ Moore and move up for Abdul Carter.
Wow.
Okay. Interesting. Foster, what's your wildest take? What do you think the Lions are going to do?
Why? As far as a wild take, I think the wild take would be trading out of the first round, which would piss off a lot of people. But Brad Holmes does what he wants. He's got a rhyme, he's got a method to his madness, of course. But I think it will be wild in the sense that I think everybody got their hearts set on whatever, respectable edge rusher is there. But, that's not how we operate. So it's going to have that initial, sunken feeling of not getting, of having, we've been waiting for the last 4 months to figure out who it's going to be. So having to wait a little bit longer and into the second round, I think would be a lot for us to take. So it's going to test a lot of our faithful, fan base that tends to jump out the window sometimes. We see it on social media, and that could very well happen come tomorrow.
Ooh.
Which is crazy because we'd have to wait to the next day, right? That's what's going to be right. So that's what's going to be painful, having to wait 24 hours. Yeah.
That's interesting. Jim asked, Dave, have you looked at guard Hayden Connor from Texas? I watched Texas play when I lived down there in Austin. I just moved up from Austin. So yes, I've seen him play. There's only 3 guard that I would think would be, starting day one types, and I don't count Hayden as one of them. But hey, it is what it is. Brosky, the Mountain West midget. No. Now, for the Vikings, hottest take would be that we actually move up to grab somebody. That would just shock me. I don't think it's going to happen, but it would shock me. I believe hottest take, I don't really have one. That, everybody wants us to trade down to get more picks. I bet we pick right where we're at. One, you need a trade partner to trade down. Somebody willing to come up. Why does somebody want to come up to 24 or 25 or 29 or 28 or 23? Only if somebody, an apple of their eye is falling into that position will that happen. And that apple is probably somebody like Shedeur Sanders or something like that. But I don't know if Shedeur is going to make it past Pittsburgh, even if he falls that far. But who knows? It could happen. We'll see. But I just want them to pick a quality player and not just go for quantity, because quantity doesn't always work. Skywalker McCarthy says, hottest take, trade up 21 for Will Johnson. Okay. Interesting.
Great cornerback.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah? You think so?
Yeah.
He's from what school?
It would be the mighty Wolverine.
I was asking Foster.
Yeah.
I'll finish. He wasn't
what he said, I guess. I don't know.
He wasn't going to give him any justice.
Wouldn't have quite put it that way, yeah.
There's 3 good players from Michigan.
Yeah. The 2 D tackles, and they'll be going in the first round for sure.
Yeah, and the question is, will Grant make it all the way down to 24? If he makes it down to 24, Minnesota may very well, even if Gray Zabel's there, may go Grant instead.
I wouldn't be surprised if JJ doesn't, put on his pom-poms and say, hey, this Michigan guy, whoever it is, that's your guy.
I know that guy.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Will Johnson literally sat out a whole year last year just to get healthy for the because he knew he said that this is going to be my last season. He had turf toe. He sat out the whole season. I think Mason Graham will not be around in the 20s. I just don't think so. But it's a possibility that Grant will be, and
Grant will be. Mason Graham won't. He's considered a blue chipper.
Yeah, and I actually thought there was more upside to Grant than Mason, but Mason has a motor that just doesn't stop.
Mm-hmm. He's going to be the pass rushing disruptor. Grant's more all around.
Yeah.
And Sarah's right. A lot of consensus picks turn into bust. You are 100% correct.
Yeah, you never know what you can get.
Mm-hmm. They do. It's the whole, you got to know what their attitude is. Is it like J.J. McCarthy that comes in and is absolutely doing everything possible he can think of to get an advantage, studying defensive players from all across the league, sitting in defensive playrooms, learning the playbook, learning this, doing that, doing this? Or is it the guy that comes in and goes, I made it here. I'm good. I don't have to listen to coaches. I made it this far, and is out within, 3 or 4 years. And they reside everywhere from round 1 all the way down. So,
yeah, I believe JJ is going to be very successful.
Mm-hmm. Now, Pay, was Poles talk of trading up something, or is he just bluffing?
Say that question again, Dave.
Ryan Poles on trading up. Is he serious, or is he just bluffing, sending smoke signals?
I hope he's bluffing. I hope he's bluffing about moving up, half the draft. When you sent that to me the other day, Dave, I thought you were just picking at me, just trying to see what I thought about certain things. Now I turn around and it's all everywhere that Ryan Poles and all the insiders of Chicago at Hallis Hall are talking about trading up to the top half of the first top 10 just for this generational running back. There's no such thing as a generational running back. Not even unless his name is Barry Sanders. I don't want to hear about him.
Adrian Peterson wasn't too bad.
Well, man, he was number 17?
No, he went at number 7, I believe. But,
7, you're right.
But we were shocked that he dropped that far. And then we lost him again. Must be the battery. What? Oh, I agree. Hey, it's going to be interesting to see what Poles does. Does Poles tube Chicago like every other predecessor before him? Let's hope so. Now, any last words there, June?
Yeah, I got some last words. I just think for the teams that's in the later picks, I don't think there will be a lot of movement. And that's strictly because of the fact that when you're drafting at 28 or 24, the lower part of the draft, the later part of the first round, your team is pretty good the year before. It's just what it is. And you have to find talent that fits not only your needs, but just fits your locker room fit. You know what I'm saying? You're looking for your guys at that point, or best athlete. So I think there's this draft. This is a very talented draft, and I think everybody improves within the first round because there's plenty to pick from.
Gotcha. Foster, any last words?
All
right. I'll make it easy for you.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Help me out.
Where can they find Bleachers to Speakers?
Yes, you can just Google us. We're on YouTube. We're on all audio aggregators. Please subscribe. You definitely want the raw and uncut live thoughts of our cast, whether it's about the Pistons, the Tigers, or the Lions, of course. And that's where you can find our initial reactions, whether we get an edge rusher, offensive lineman, trade back, all the above. That's where it's going to be at.
Okay. But you have plans for the draft.
Plans for the draft.
As in shows.
We're going to join I can't remember who's doing it, but we're joining a draft. It's someone. We're going to be on there tomorrow. We're actually going to go live tomorrow after our pick. We're also going to the Pistons play their playoff game tomorrow, so you'll hear from us then. It's going to be a lot of content being dropped tomorrow, and I may do a pregame before the Pistons game tomorrow, and I might do a pre-draft. Tomorrow's going to be a lot of content. So just subscribe to Bleachers to Speakers on YouTube, and you'll see everything you need to see.
Yes, and I do highly encourage folks to subscribe. They host this show once every 3 weeks. We rotate between all three of us, and they do host as well. Now, since Pay's back lurking in the dark, Pay, where can they find you?
In the dark.
In the dark.
Sorry, everyone. I'm having a computer problem. I haven't jump off of my phone, but we will be live covering the draft tomorrow. First 15 pick, especially with the Chicago pick. Hopefully we're not talking about Chicago's pick earlier than we were, but it will be done tomorrow at the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan channel. Check it out wherever you get your YouTube or podcast mix. That's podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and such.
Cool. And Pay's asked me to come on after the Vikings pick, and I will do such because our schedule over at Vikings First and SKOL, and you know where to find us, you're already watching, is that we're going to have a show at noon tomorrow where it will be the primer, the last minute, what new rumors there are, have there been any trades in the next 24 hours, all that. Tyler and I are going to talk about how he gathered all the industry mock drafts, and we're going to compute what it means for the Vikings and who they are going to select. And then for the draft itself, Tyler's going to be downtown at the Fillmore for the SKOR North draft party. He's on stage. And I'm going to be hopping around between shows, including Pay's Frustrated Chicago Sports Fans show, talking. And then after Tyler gets home, we will go live for a round one recap, probably around midnight. And you can catch us there. And then we'll be live all day 2 and all day 3. So That's what's happening next on Vikings First and SKOL, except for tonight. Tyler's going to be on at his normal time, 6 o'clock, and we're going to talk the final mock draft. And he picked somebody that's a little bit unusual from what is out of the norm. So I will encourage everybody, come back at 6 o'clock for the Real Forno show. Hey, what do they say in Chicago?
We bear down, Dave.
Yeah, I do daily. Do. Anyways, Jude, what are they saying? Detroit. All right. Great. And of course, Minnesota says, Go Vikings! Everybody, thanks for watching and listening. Peace out. Like, subscribe, and rate us on your favorite podcast aggregator. Thank you for listening to this NFC North group effort on the Fans First Sports Network. This has been a frustrated Chicago sports fans, Bleachers to Speakers, Vikings First and SKOL, and of course, the Fans First Sports Network production. Thank you for listening.